Hi, this is TJ with the Backpack Trader. I've received so many questions over the last several months of people confused about the difference between CounterPunch Xpress 2 and the CounterPunch Trader. And recently I've even received questions about the earlier version of the CounterPunch Xpress, the first one that came out many years ago. So I thought I would do a short video, walk you through the main tools and benefits and features that the CounterPunch Trader has, along with the CounterPunch Xpress 2 and the original CounterPunch Xpress, which is no longer available, by the way, and for good reason. The CounterPunch Xpress 2 is just far superior, and of course CounterPunch Trader. So let's dig in. It's probably best if I start with CounterPunch Trader. That was the first one that came out. And I've lost track of exactly when it came out, but I'm guesstimating it's probably about 8 years ago now. It's been a while, and it's still working great. I still use it every day. We use it for our highly successful Forex alert service, which just broke 35,000 pips, by the way. I'm really proud of that. All new equity highs. And of course, we use it in the trade room. And it's still a fantastic strategy. I use it to trade options. I use it to day trade futures. I use it to swing trade Forex. It could do so many things. So let me start by giving you a quick overview of the CounterPunch Trader, and then I'll go back to the beginning. We'll talk about the CounterPunch Xpress and how that evolved into the far more capable and more powerful CounterPunch Xpress 2. All right, so let's just jump right in. All right, let's start with this chart of crude oil futures. I don't want you to get caught up on what symbol it is. It could be anything. This could be an equities chart, a Forex chart. It doesn't matter. What I want to do is kind of give you the big picture of CounterPunch Trader. Like all my strategies, it has the signature trade setup printing on the chart. Looking at this purple trade here, I'll click on it. And you can see the little plus sign. That's where you get short, the entry. Got some targets that are all pre-tuned and dynamic to market conditions like all my strategies do. And you got the trailing stop, which is capable of moving down, reducing or eliminating risk. In this case, it's locking in one tick or so to take the risk off the trade, and then it begins to trail all the way down until it stops out. So that's a typical look of a trade setup with CounterPunch Trader. And you'll notice with my other strategies as well, Spotlight Master Suite, Catapult Trader, they also print the trades on the chart in much the same way. Totally different strategies, totally different setup as far as the trade setup goes. We're going to focus only on CounterPunch today. Also, when you click on the trade, the entire trade is in this data window. Okay, now this data window works on TradeStation, NinjaTrader, MT4. The data window in Thinkorswim doesn't really work because they just never made it work. It's a Thinkorswim thing. So we learn how to trade CounterPunch Trader using a different way. The numbers brighten up on the right axis here, and there's other ways to use the strategy without the data window. Okay. And then, of course, there is also the new wealth charts. CounterPunch Trader doesn't work on wealth charts, but CounterPunch Xpress 2 does. All right, so when you click on the trade, the entire trade is laid out in front of you, and it's laid out in the order of the trade. So the stop is on top, then the entry, then the targets, and that's because it's a short trade, and the eye reads from the direction of the trade, and that's really a great thing, and you may not realize how great it is, but we've learned in the past that sometimes traders were putting in a buy order when they meant to put in a sell order by mistake. Subsequently, when I click on this long setup here, notice that this reads up. And so this helps eliminate errors. Okay, it's a subtle innovation. Let me go back to the purple trade. It also tells you where the targets are, tells you how much you will make in ticks, 20 ticks, 31 ticks, 40 ticks, 42 ticks to each target, how much you're risking from the entry to the stop, and then a risk-reward ratio. Typically, your targets 2 and 3 will be better than 1 to 1, and target 1 will always be a little less, but still pretty good, and it wins at a high rate. So you could choose which target to use. Typically, we're going to go to target 2 as our primary objective, but that's not always the case. It just depends on the trade plan. All right, so that's just a basic overview of how we use CounterPunch Trader. I just want to show you the differences between CounterPunch Trader, CounterPunch Express 2, and the old CounterPunch Express. Okay, so the easiest way to tell the difference is by looking at the calculator itself. The calculator is a custom indicator that actually takes all the rules of the strategy and then prints the trade on the chart at the right edge of the chart, right when the trade is happening, and you got all the trade details right there, okay? So I don't want you to worry about what all these different inputs are. I just want you to see how many of them there are. This is the full CounterPunch Trader. It's a loaded toolbox. And you might be thinking, oh my goodness, that's a lot of inputs. Usually you're going to set it and forget it. You're going to set it up for a particular chart and trade plan. You're going to follow my guidelines, trade plans that I've done for you. You're going to set it up. You're going to save it. And then it's always going to be there. You're not going to have to go in and change stuff. But you can, and it's a good thing to learn how to do. All right, so CounterPunch Trader can do some amazing things. There's different modes. You have standard mode, trend mode, hybrid mode, and some additional benefits like using an average true range formula for a dynamic entry and stop. That's kind of different. Well, it's a lot different than the CounterPunch Trader method, okay? This gives you a lot more flexibility and tools that you can use to craft the perfect trade plan for various markets. And not only that, but the CounterPunch Trader comes with automation that works on TradeStation and NinjaTrader. And the automation is how we could test and optimize those inputs. So let me give you an example. This is a custom trade plan that was created with CounterPunch Trader and the automation. And it was created about 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, right around when CounterPunch Trader first came out. And it's been winning 85% of its trades from a 10-year back test and then going forward all the way to today. And when I put on the automation, it shows you where the trades would be. TradeStation's not a Forex broker, so this is kind of theoretical based on this chart, but you could take these trades and place it with your Forex broker. That's how I trade. But what I like about this is that you can look at a performance report. Notice all the inputs. These are all the inputs that I showed you in the calculator a moment ago, only this is for the automation, and there's even more inputs that give you time of day, our quitting goals. You can have various quitting scenarios. We call it power of quitting, how many trades you should take before stopping. It's not really relevant on a swing trade chart, but it's great for day trading. And it has key level adjustments where it'll adjust around psychological round numbers. It does that for you, right? So that's stuff that I teach you in training, and with CounterPunch Express and CounterPunch Express 2, you would learn how to do that manually, okay? But what's great about the full CounterPunch Trader is you could set it to do those things for you, and you could see on this performance report, it's dating all the way back to 2011, right? So it's 11-year look back. 593 trades. It's winning almost 86%, 2.11 profit factor. And, well, you could see it just broke out to new equity highs. So this is the CounterPunch Trader can do all of this. All right. So it's a big upgrade. It's super valuable, super powerful. You have to learn a little bit more, but it's worth it. And the training's excellent. Okay. So I teach you how to use all this. You can learn it step by step. After I came out with this strategy, I just toggled back to the crude oil chart. Some of the feedback I got was that CounterPunch Trader was really hard to learn. There were too many things, and some people it was just too much. And I respect that. It's definitely an advanced set of tools. So I created a streamlined version, an entry-level version of the CounterPunch Trader, and it was called the CounterPunch Express. This is the earliest version. Let me show you what that does. All right, so this is the exact same chart that we were just looking at, but you'll notice that there's no trailing stops. There's some extra setups, and it looks a little different. This is the original CounterPunch Express. The CounterPunch Express took the rules of the strategy and printed the trade on the chart, and that's it. It only can print the trade on the chart. You, as the trader, have to then know what to do with those setups. And it doesn't know when you're in a trade, and it can't track the trade. Okay, so what I showed you with CounterPunch Trader is it had trade tracking abilities. I just put CounterPunch Trader on again, and you notice that it knows when the system's in a trade. It knows when the stop is active. It knows when the price has gone to the certain point, usually target 1. Doesn't have to be, it could be other places, but usually target 1. And it knows to then move the stop, track the stop, not give you any other setups unless you ask it to. It has the capabilities of showing you the additional setups, but it's going to basically give you the primary trade that the system is in within sequence from what came before, what comes after. So it's smart, right? It's a smart strategy. CounterPunch Express is a dumb strategy. All it does is print the trade. If there's another setup, it'll print that. If there's another setup, it'll print that. You can't turn them on or off. It doesn't track. These are all techniques you learn as a trader. And that's not bad. I mean, there's still great setups. You could trade with this and make money with this. Okay, so this went on and on for a while, but then I got the opposite criticism. I got people that were like, well, why can't it do what CounterPunch Trader does? And I'm like, well, if you want it to do what CounterPunch Trader does, you can upgrade. Yeah, but CounterPunch Trader does way too much. All right, so I listened to everything, and I kind of innovated, went back to the drawing board, and I came out with an in-between strategy called CounterPunch Express 2. All right, so you could just consider this the old CounterPunch Express or CounterPunch Express 1, and then it has now evolved into CounterPunch Express 2. So let's look at that one. Okay, here's CounterPunch Express 2, and what you'll see is that it kind of looks like the full CounterPunch Trader. It can track trades. It's smart. It knows when it's in a trade. It knows how to move the stop. It knows how to follow the rules according to what we set up. You have a lot of controls, but you just don't have as many controls. It's not as packed of a tool set as the full CounterPunch Trader. If you'll remember how big the calculator was with all the inputs, here's the CounterPunch Express 2. That's it. It's just this. Okay, so it lets you turn trades on or off. You could put on the green trade, the purple trade, the white trade, any combination of those. It has a few smart filters where it'll ignore some small setups based on, if you're using a time-based chart, sometimes that's very useful. And it can move the stop to break even. It gives you stop trailing stop controls. And it's a really great strategy. And there's not much to learn on it, and it works really well. It also gives you the full panel with all the need-to-know information like its older sibling, the CounterPunch Trader. Okay, the CounterPunch Express, the original CounterPunch Express 1, gave you the trade setup only. It didn't give you all the nice risk-reward information that the CounterPunch Express gives you. So CounterPunch Express is definitely useful by printing the trades, but CounterPunch Express 2 is far more useful because not only does it print the trades, but you could ask for the additional supplemental trades. You could just come into here, and where it says show add-ons, you could just type in true, and then all of a sudden now it's going to show you the additional trades if you want them. And like I said, sometimes you can scale in, especially if you're trading options or Forex. Okay, and notice it's in a darker color, so you could distinguish the primary trade in bright green versus the supplemental trade in dark green. See? So that's CounterPunch Express 2. Again, CounterPunch Express 1, you cannot turn off the extra trades because it can't track them. All it can do is show you the setups and nothing else. All right, so that's the difference. Hopefully you understand the difference and you could see the benefit of each. CounterPunch Express is no longer available. CounterPunch Express 2 is the lean and mean. It's not an entry level anymore, but it's as easy as an entry level. It's a streamlined version of the full CounterPunch Trader. It's not going to have the key level adjustments. It's not going to have your trend mode and standard mode and hybrid mode. I mean, everything is in standard mode, but you could easily trade it with trend mode. You could put on the trend mode indicator and you could follow the rules, but the strategy itself isn't going to be smart enough to track it. You just have to learn how to do that manually. And it can't do other things, whereas the full CounterPunch Trader can. Like the CounterPunch Express 2 will trail your signal line. That's your balance of power line between buyers and sellers, a super powerful indicator. It's instrumental to the strategy and why it's worked so well. The full CounterPunch Trader can trade this, but it could also trade different moving averages. So you have choices, and you have the optimization, and you have the ability to optimize with automation and learn what the best trailing stop might be and when to apply it. So the CounterPunch Trader, let's just quickly open up that calculator again and show you how much more is in there. Remember, CounterPunch Express 2 was like not very much. Well, CounterPunch Trader is quite a bit more, and for good reason. It could just do a lot more. It also has filters. It has what we call the chop filter and the squeeze filter and other filters. CounterPunch Express 2 doesn't have that, but you can still learn how to use the concepts and just do it manually. The first CounterPunch Express, let's look at that calculator. It's just this. See the difference? So here's the calculator for CounterPunch Express. These are the only inputs you have. So it's simple as far as learning, but maybe not as simple to trade it live. CounterPunch Express 2 streamlines the full CounterPunch Trader. Still simple to learn, few more powerful inputs, can do a lot more, has a smart trade tracking, has a smart trade panel. And from here, you can learn CounterPunch really well, and if and when you're ready, you can upgrade to the full CounterPunch Trader, which gives you a whole lot more. So you can just take what you've learned with CounterPunch Express 2, and now just go to your mastery class and learn the next level. And of course, also learn the advanced, let's see, I have one set up here, learn the advanced strategy itself, where you have the performance report and you can optimize and get optimization reports for any of these inputs, which is pretty amazing. So this particular strategy that uses this 4-hour chart for the pound yen, by the way, this is one of the signature trade plans that we use in our Forex alert service. I mean, why not? It's won like close to 86% for years and years and years. So this is one of the greatest hits trade plans, all created with this CounterPunch Trader tool set and automation. And we use this and send these alerts out through our Discord channel. So if you're interested in that, let me know. This uses the average true range entry and stop aspects. Again, advanced level, takes the CounterPunch Trader to a different level, even beyond what CounterPunch Express did versus the original CounterPunch Express. So hopefully I didn't confuse you all with that, but now hopefully you know the difference between CounterPunch Express, which is discontinued, CounterPunch Express 2, which is a streamlined version into the world of counterpunch trading, and then of course the mothership CounterPunch Trader and its Trade Assist. We call it the TA, the Trade Assist Automation Package. So if you want more information about this, leave a comment for me. I answer all comments. You can email me, troy@backpacktrader.com. I answer all emails. And I'd like to invite you to join our free trader community. It's called the Trade Hacking Club, and it's a free membership that you can join on our Discord channel. It's another great way to ask questions and get answers. And then, of course, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. We have great content coming out all the time. My new partner, Romulus, is just amazing with his market insights, and he's putting out videos several times a week. You're not going to want to miss those. And then, of course, if you're interested in any of our alert services, if you're interested in CounterPunch Xpress 2 or the full CounterPunch Trader or both or whatever, reach out and we'll answer all your questions. These are strategies that have been working for years. They could work for you. They're very versatile, and the training's excellent. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, everybody. This is TJ with the Backpack Trader, and I'll see you on the next video.